Last week, you and I found out that the problem with your interview isn't that you don't have enough practice, it's that your message might be ineffective to begin with. Over the last 15 years, I've learned and iterated and honed in on a whole different way of thinking about the interview. And in the next several minutes, I'm going to show you why there's so much more to a great interview than practicing responses. But first, if it's been a while now in your search and you have not yet landed an offer, then your next 60-second action step is to save our 5-step process because it's going to shine a light on at least 3 opportunities I can almost guarantee that you're not taking advantage of right now. It's so important that you have the latest strategy because what worked in 2010 just doesn't work anymore. I encourage you to grab it at theuncommoncareer.com/process. The link is in the description. Again, that is theuncommoncareer.com/process. I hope you find it just as helpful. Okay, so now with that said, let's get into your new interview strategy. Hey there, you're listening to the Uncommon Career Podcast, and we are here every single week to help you think about the job search differently. Because again, what worked 10 years ago just isn't working anymore. My name is Patricia Ortega, and I'm your brand strategist and career coach. I do this work because I know what it feels like to sit across the room from a hiring leader, give it all I got, and still know that I didn't convey my full value. If you know, you know, because I've shared this story before. But after that interview, I hopped into an elevator and just started to hyperventilate. You know what? I am going to get so good, I said in the elevator. I said, I'm going to get so good at this that they won't ever be able to turn me down again. And that is what I want for you too. So now, let's refocus. We already know that the problem is not a matter of practice. The problem is about not having the right message. I'm going to take you first to the exact moment when I learned that a picture is worth 1,000 words, but the right message is worth $1 million. I was working for Shane Sams. I think he was a history teacher. He would always say something on the lines of, I'm a history teacher from Kentucky, and he'd have this accent. He's really lively. I absolutely love the way he works. Well, I went into Shane Sam's program because I wanted to learn how to operate a podcast, how to figure out, a business, how to get everything going. Well, I started listening to Shane Sams. I ended up joining his program, and I knew that I needed to learn from him. So, in typical career coach fashion, I was like, how can I become your apprentice? So I started to work for him. Now, Shane Sams saw me as his employee, but I saw myself very much as his apprentice. And so I'm sitting here as Shane Sams does some coaching with his clients. Now, what he coaches them on is on sharing their authentic story in order to help build their business. So entrepreneurs and business owners would pay $10,000 to $20,000 for his help in building out their story. Now, I sat under him in meetings to see the before and after, and I saw how the same life story shared without having been developed fell absolutely flat. However, once they understood what goes into a well-crafted story, once they created an experience with the details of their life story, they'd now go back out there into the public and make thousands, if not, like Shane, millions of dollars sharing their story. It's crazy, isn't it? Same story. But what I learned, that it's how you share it that makes people either nod and forget or sit up and take action. I soaked up every single word. I integrated this knowledge with everything that I have learned in my career coaching experience. And now I bring that to you so that you can use it to tell powerful stories. I'm going to share a quick introduction to how I help my clients with this information, how I help them to bring out the power in their stories, but also the persuasiveness. So let me stop here first, though. I'm going to interrupt the regularly scheduled programming because I used to get upset that these things aren't as simple as I would like them to be. Why can't I just answer the hiring leader's questions and then get hired? I mean, am I right? Shouldn't it be that simple? But see, then I realized I can be upset or I can recognize this is a powerful skill. So I thought, okay, well, I can choose to fight the system or I can learn this power skill and win at this little game called life. And you know what? Winning is so much more fun. So now, here I introduce to you a new way of thinking about your interview. This is the same process that all my clients work through, and the process that's helped many of them get hired even as early as the very first interview. Now, the first part is to understand the audience. This means that you understand you are in a conversation with the hiring leader, that you know the action you want them to take. Because you can answer questions, but if you know the action you want them to take, now you're going to answer those questions in a very different way. So, understand the audience. This is the hiring leader, what industry they're in, research their LinkedIn, take a look at the posting, learn as much as you can. Now, every level after this builds on the last. So, only after you've understood the audience, then you go into level 2. This is where you understand the obstacles and the risks that need to be overcome. When you think about the hiring leader that you're going to be in front of, the job that they posted that you applied for, the industry they're in, maybe the stage of business they're in. If there's any kind of news about recent events, those are going to impact what they view as obstacles and risks. So important to think about obstacles and risks from your audience's perspective. I cannot tell you how many times we're talking, myself and a client, and we come up with all the obstacles and risks, and then we realize that half of those don't actually seem like obstacles and risks to that hiring leader. They could be obstacles and risks to a different hiring leader, maybe in a different industry or in a different situation, but not in this situation. So always think about those obstacles and risks to overcome from the hiring leader's perspective. So now you understand the audience, you understand the obstacles and the risks that you need to overcome. The third piece is now deciding on the best combination of relevant stories. Now, I can go into a whole 45-minute, lecture on how to pick the best stories and why are some stories not as effective as others, but that will be for another day. For now, though, you want to make sure that you have a well balanced combination of the most relevant and most impactful stories. Relevance always comes first, impact will come second, because it doesn't matter how big of an impact you made if it's not in an area they're looking to hire in. Okay, so you understood the audience, you then understood the obstacles and the risks, and you decided on your best combination of relevant stories. Only then do you get into the details of the story, the flow in which you share the story. Essentially, how you're going to frame that story for the best possible impact. Now, once you take care of that, you head into the fifth level. This is where preparation finally comes in. And at this point, the preparation isn't practice as much as you can. The preparation is more of internalizing the core message. So you're not rehearsing here, you're just learning how to share your experience no matter what question is asked. So now, at this point, if you've crafted your message this way, it has been created from the ground up to resonate from the very first sentence to the very last word. You've also handled obstacles without introducing deficits and sharing these from a strengths perspective. And you can also organically share a message that takes every opportunity to showcase your value, and all of it without feeling sleazy and overly salesy. And listen to one of my clients share her very own aha moment as to just how many opportunities there are to share and showcase her value.
I just haven't looked at it in the way that you're presenting it, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, there's so much more I should be doing." Like, this is such a huge opportunity that I haven't taken advantage of, or, like, I just haven't had that insider knowledge into, this is what has been missing my entire career, is not understanding how to best address and conduct an interview.
And this is the reason why our program is so powerful. See, you and we won't just be working on a resume. That is like a blip at the very beginning of a big galaxy of work that we do. What we're working on is more so an incubator. We're working to make you visible for your job search now, but also making your career bulletproof for the future. We do this by building lifelong career assets like your resume and LinkedIn and your narrative, interview messaging, your slide deck, etc. And all of these are highly strategically crafted, but also by helping you to build power skills, those career skill sets that you're going to need over and over again, whether you're looking for internal promotions and becoming more visible without feeling salesy, or whether you're trying to get your next position after a layoff or an unexpected restructure. Now, the first step to see whether or not this might be the program for you is to first just have a conversation that's absolutely zero pressure. Our goal is to really learn about your challenge, to figure out what strategy would help you overcome that challenge. And then, if it turns out that our program might be a good fit for you both now and in the future, then we'll talk about the program a little bit more. If you're interested in learning more about the program and how we might be able to help you elevate your career now and in the future, then I'd encourage you to book a call at theuncommoncareer.com/call. That's theuncommoncareer.com/call. I'm so glad that we got a chance to talk today. I hope that you saw how a strategy is built from the ground up. And when you do that, your message is powerful on its own. And practice, it might be a little bit helpful, but it's the message that has the power, not the rehearsal. All right. As always, know that Denise and I are cheering you on. We're praying for you, and we'll see you on the next one. Hey, thanks for listening. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. If you found this episode helpful, please tap the 5-star review on the show's homepage in your podcast app. It would absolutely make my day, and it helps others discover the Uncommon Career Podcast. Now, to download your free career resources and learn how I help seasoned professionals land amazing offers in as little as 90 days, click on the link in the description or go to theuncommoncareer.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you on the next one.